Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. In today's video, I'll finish installing the quick performance Ford 9-inch rear end on our '69 Chevelle. I'll also be installing complete front and rear Wilwood big brake kits. Of course, before we get started, I'd like to extend a big thanks to O'Reilly Auto Parts and Original Parts Group for all of their support with the build so far. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Valvoline, QA1 Classic Performance Products, and the rest of our build partners, which can be found down in the description box below. If you haven't seen the last episode, I also put a link to it down in the description below. The main focus was on installing a QA1 Level 2 handling suspension package, which replaces all of the factory suspension components with high quality and strong tubular control arms in front, boxed trailing arms in the back, additional bracing, coilover shocks, and more. It's a very nice package. I also talked some about the quick performance Ford 9-inch, which instead of building up the factory rear end, I just ordered this whole complete package that's fabricated, custom, and made to bolt into this car. It's a very strong rear end in its basic form, but depending on what kind of power you're wanting to make out of the car that you're building, you can custom tailor this way further. Quick Performance offers a lot of different options to choose from to make this thing just about indestructible. Specifically for this car, I did opt for some things, but not some of the over-the-top things, because this is going to be getting a 6.0 LQ4 with a cam, so it's going to make good power, but nothing super crazy. I've got 3.70 gearing, 31 spline axles with a track lock clutch style posi, and their upgraded center section, which includes a Yukon Pro N case, a Daytona pinion support, and 1350 billet yoke. They also offer a handful of brake packages, including 11-inch drums or 11-inch discs with or without a parking brake, and a couple different Wilwood brake packages. I went with the Wilwoods because that's what I already had with the front, and they had a Wilwood kit that had shoe-style parking brakes, which is really nice. We're not going to lose any functionality by doing the big brake upgrades or anything like that. It's just going to be a phenomenal package when it's all put together and out on the road. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before I can install the center section, I need to press in these studs into the rear end housing, because these are what we're going to use to actually get the center section hung onto the rear end housing, and then everything's going to be secured via these lock nuts. But we're not going to be using the lock nuts quite yet. I actually have a good bit of these nuts that came in the rear end package. They're part of something else, which I'll show you later, but they're the same thread pitch as these studs. So I'm going to use the nuts with a set of washers to draw them through the housing like this. So let's get to it. All right, with all the studs in place, it's time to install this heavy sucker. So I was getting ready to install the paper gasket that I got from O'Reilly, but I realized I ran out of RTV and needed to make a store run anyway, and I found this stuff. This is RTV that's specifically designed for gear oil applications, especially when you're using a friction modifier like I'll be using in this one. I didn't realize that friction modifiers over time can actually deteriorate traditional RTV. So my buddy Joe is running a bead around right now, then we're going to get the center section installed. We should be good to go.
Keep wiggling. Okay.
At this point, the nuts are snugged up to the point where the RTV is just starting to ooze out. Now, I gotta let it sit for an hour before I can torque everything down final. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and install the outer seals, then we can start installing the axles. The axle is going to be riding across this rubber portion of the seal right here. So before we start putting anything in here, I'm going to coat this in oil so it just makes everything slide across a little bit easier. It's also important to remember, don't go up, down, left, and right. Try to keep it as straight as possible and support it, because you don't want to take a chance of rolling that, tearing that, or something like that, because then you're going to have a leak later. Well, I forgot one crucial step before pressing on the axles, and that was installing the shoe-style parking brake setup that I have. I ended up ordering this rear Willwood big brake kit from Quick Performance that's designed to bolt in with all of this stuff and make a really easy but substantial braking upgrade. The shoe-style parking brake setup, it almost kind of looks like a drum brake, and you'll see how it all works more when I go to fit the disc and all of that. But this pre-assembled portion in the middle just sits in between the axle tube and the axle itself. Now everything is all pressed back in. It just needs to be bolted down. There's actually this U-shaped bracket in here. You've got special bolts that go in from the back side, nuts that go in from this side. So now let's get it all bolted together. All right, everyone, it's time to start tackling the brakes. To make things a little easier on myself, I went ahead and installed the passenger side brakes just so I can see how everything went together and hopefully work through any kinks before I started filming at the driver's side, which actually worked out pretty good, especially with this rear brake. The biggest issue back here was this spacer plate that sits in between the parking brake assembly and the caliper mounting bracket. Even though these Willwood brakes are designed to bolt up to this forward-based rear end, it's important to remember that when you start mixing all sorts of aftermarket components, you have to allow for additional variables when it comes to fitment, machining differences, and all of that, which is what I ran into with this spacer. Long story short, when I got everything mounted up, the rotor was not in line with the caliper. I couldn't even get both pads in. So what I had to do was get that spacer out, which sucked because it was red Loctited in very well. And I took the spacer down to a local machine shop. They were able to mill it down just enough to where it put everything in perfect alignment. So it worked out. It's just important to remember when you run into stuff like that to not get frustrated, because it's not a hard thing to figure out. It's just, it's more just annoying than anything else. And at the end of the day, it's metal, it's nuts and bolts, and if you know the right people or have the right tools, you can just about make anything work. These rear brakes are extremely easy to assemble. After you put on that little metal ring, you just slip the rotor on and start test fitting the caliper with these shims. Basically, depending on again, machining differences and whatnot, you either have to space the caliper out or in a little bit. It talks about the different spacing requirements and whatnot in the instructions, but the parking brake cable will end up sitting in that bracket right there. So all we got to do now is to double check the fitment with the caliper, get the pads in place, secured, and tighten everything down. Aside from parking brake cables and brake lines, everything back here is pretty much buttoned up. These brakes are going to be a tremendous upgrade over the factory drums, to say the least. The rotors span 12.19 inches in diameter. They're internally ventilated, drilled, and slotted, all for improved cooling, and there's 4 piston calipers. The black coating is also really nice compared to a traditional, just non-coated iron rotor. This has a lot of corrosion resistance. So after bedding in the pads and driving it, this top surface is going to, come off, but all of the recesses, the veins, the hat, and everything are going to stay black, so it's going to look really nice for years to come. The front rotors also have that black coating, but this is a completely different animal compared to the rear brake setup. For starters, we have massive 6-piston calipers. The rotors are bigger, they span 12.88 inches, and they're a 2-piece design. So you have the rotor, the aluminum hat that bolts to the rotor, and we've got this aluminum hub assembly. All the bearings and everything like that were included in the Willwood kit. It's very, very nice. This is going to be awesome. One of the best parts is that all of this can be used with the factory drum brake spindles. There's definitely a lot more steps with installing the front brakes, but it's not too hard. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is bolt the rotor and hat together. There's this little bolt kit with washers, and they just need to put in an alternating sequence with red Loctite, and of course torque down. With the wheel studs threaded and torqued, I'm going to work on packing the bearings, get the rear grease seal in place, then we can start assembling everything on the spindle. It's important to remember that before bolting everything down for the final time, you need to double check the clearance of the rotor inside the caliper. It needs to be right in the middle so you have equal distance between the rotor and each pad. So after putting the recommended amount of shims to start out, I needed to take some things apart and remove some shims to bring it more in line. It's just an adjustment process to account for, again, different machining, the casting, you know, all of that good stuff. But everything's all bolted on now, looking good. Now we can go ahead and mount the caliper. Between now and the next video, I'm going to work on installing all of the steering components and fit the wheels, so the next time you see this thing, it'll be a roller. Well everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a like down below because it really helps the videos a lot. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so because of course there's always a lot more where that came from. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.